Yes, that is where it been staying, and it really knows here. So this is a typical tortoise. They have a lot in this environment. It is going to hide, and it's feeling comfortable in this environment because it is just like it is in the forest. Yes. Fellow viewers, welcome once again to Smart Agro Innovation, your channel that teaches smart agro skills, so that at least, especially ranging from non-traditional farming, taking into consideration snails, grass cutter, a whole lot, Today we are going to talk about tortoise. Tortoise, the tropical forest tortoise. In fact, the sub-Saharan African tortoise, which has much commercial value. It is highly consumed in our system. But today I'm going to show you a lot of things about it. We have tortoise in this environment. In our explanations, we will get you some to watch it yourself. We keep them here. Here is made up of different or varieties of herbs. As you can see it, these particular types are there. These ones are here. There are shades throughout. And we keep our tortoise in whilst we monitor their movements. Over here, sometimes we try to also change their mode of feeding, put them in different stuffs. So now let's see whether you can see if even one of our tortoises, so that we use it for our today's explanation and practical video. So let's see whether we get to see some. Okay. We are hunting for our tortoise. So this is simply sweet potato. We have some here. We have some mushrooms here. This is mushroom. This is mushroom. And in fact, tortoises, they like it so much. So I'm sure they can be seen. There are tomatoes, everything, they consume them. Yeah. So let's see whether variety of herbs. These ones are also there. They like it very well. So let's see. Oh, good. We have one here. One is hiding here. Yeah, in fact, keeping them here. This one is here. Oh, very big one. In fact, the bigger one among them. This is tortoise, a typical sub-Saharan African tortoise found in the tropical forest. They live their life on the surface of the land. They are not the what do you call it? They are not the ones living in water. They are not turtle. This is tortoise. So they live on the surface. Their habitat is land, not in water. There are other species of tortoise that stays in water bodies or that live in aquatic environment. But this one, it lives on the surface of the earth, as you can see. Now, if you look at the skin, let me take my time, sit down, so we explain to you in general. So we have it here. Now, this is one of our tortoise. If you look at the body, it is very, very insulated. Very, very hardcore. It is not easy to break the shell of a tortoise. In fact, if you look at this one, it is very old. And one may ask, how can you be railing or keeping tortoise? What I would say is that people even ask why and how they eat. They all depend on this green environment. In the forest, that is where they live their life. They depend on these herbs, the vegetables, numerous of them. You have this type, you have this type also there. A lot more. Sometimes they also feed on these flowers. A lot more. We have sweet potato. In fact, this particular environment is made up of green herbs. So they feed on them while they move through the soil as well. Now, when it's time for a tortoise to, let's move on to reproduction. When it's time for a tortoise to reproduce, it will lay 8 eggs basically in holes. When it's time for it to lay the egg, it definitely creates some holes and stays inside. After laying of egg, tortoise will then cover the eggs underground. Cover it nicely. Leave them there for a couple of days before they hatch. And after hatching, automatically they move from the inner soil to the surface of the soil. That is after hatching. Then they also continue their life activities. In fact, tortoise is known to live, that is the lifespan, between 80 to 150 years. This tortoise you see here is very old. Though I cannot predict the age, but if you look at the skin, before it was brought up here, it has spent so many years in the forest. You can see the skin. The skin also have numerous commercial value. The shell, it can use for many things industrially. Now, after hatching, and when it also lay 8 eggs, after hatching they continue to grow to some point, and they also lay their own eggs. This particular shell is a defensive mechanism for the tortoise. If you look at the skin, it is very tough, but fortunately, because I've held it, it doesn't want to move. So for you to let a tortoise move, this one, because we are here talking, when it hears noise, it doesn't normally use the eye to see. It is very sensitive to its environment. Even when we are walking from a far distance, it is able to detect that signal. Once that signal is detected that there is somebody in this environment, the tortoise automatically pull its legs, hands, and then the head inside the shell where no organism can bite it. If you look at this, the head is here, but you can see that it has covered it. So if you are a snake or something, you can't bite it. Yeah, it's a defensive mechanism. You cannot bite the shells too. So the actual body is inside the shell, highly insulated shell. So we want it to move so you can see the shell, the head, and all those things. But before it can move, we are going to heat up the shell. Automatically, you see that it will start moving. The moment it is able to detect that there is something hot, it will bring out the head. So we see its movement here. Fire. Before the tortoise can move, we are going to apply this fire on the shell, and when that happens, you will see that there will be movements. So you give it hot. Yes, see that it's moving. See that it's moving. Yes, you see it movement. You see the legs. Yeah. So this is how a real African type tortoise looks like. You see that it is causing movement because of the heat applied. Yes. So this is how its movement is done. Yes. So this is how it is. Though this may not kill it, but you can see it. Look at the head and how it is. So this is our tortoise. It is moving freely in this environment. Yeah. So you can see that it has been able to create some holes in this environment. We wanted to move there. So if you still want to see more movement, you just apply the heat and it will be moving. Yes. So it's moving. Yes, that is where it been staying, and it really knows here. So this is a typical tortoise. They have a lot in this environment. It is going to hide, and it's feeling comfortable in this environment because it is just like it is in the forest. Yes. So that is how it is. The moment it feels some sound or some footsteps, you see that automatically it will see that there is danger, and it will put the head inside. So you see that the head and everything has gone to hide. Yes, it always studies the environment. If the environment is very calm before it comes out. Yes, but for practical purposes, we wanted you to see how it's moving. That's why we applied heat to the shell, and once it detects it, then it starts moving. So you see that when it heard my voice, and then when I stepped on it, tortoise is such that you can even step on it and you may not see that there is tortoise in that environment. So that is how it is. It is lying down, but when I apply the heat again, you see that it will be moving. Let me apply the heat. Yes. So there is a movement. So that is how it is. This is Smart Agro Innovation. Once again, your channel that teaches smart or skills in agric. You can be doing your farming at your backyard. My name is Anthony Beidu, and the cameraman is Godfred Kingsley Beidu. Thank you very much for watching. Keep watching and subscribe to our channel so we give you much more exciting videos from our environment. Thank you.